Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto had infinite chakra and was neglected by his family. Well, guys, I must say that you guys just simply destroyed the comment goal, but for some reason there are still less like goals. But since I'm feeling generous today, so I'm going to start this video as yeah, the like goal is not completed yet. And yeah guys, if you guys are not subscribed, then it would be a huge favor to me if you guys subscribe to my channel, as I want to reach 10k as quick as possible. So I'm recording a lot of videos, or I have decided to record a lot of videos after this. Who knows, I might end this series today, or who knows, tomorrow, but still I have decided that. So hopefully I will be, you can say that, try my best in the future. Well, who knows. Well, and yeah guys, I have made a post in the YouTube in which you guys have to told me should Sakura be dead in this video or not. Right now I'm recording and I have given you guys 3 minutes or 5 minutes, I don't remember it correctly, but still in this time, if the yes is up, then who knows, Gara might kill him, or but it will be decided in this video, and I have already started recording this video, so hopefully you guys will be able to come up with a final decision, so that in this video I might record that way. So hopefully, without any further ado, let us start our video. As last time we left off, as we saw that how Orochimaru attacked Menma and Mito in the Forest of Death because of his deep hatred for Minato, as Orochimaru wanted to become Hokage, but Minato beat him to that as he was pretty angry, so he made specialized seals, curse marks, so that he could place it on Menma and Mito, as he was able to put it there, as Minato was not happy about it, while on the other hand Jiraiya was thinking that how the curse mark and the power of Kyuubi can work together so that Menma and Mito could be strong and could be the child of prophecy to save the world, as Jiraiya is getting crazy each and every day. As Tsunade noticed that, as Naruto completely destroyed Orochimaru, only a small snake was able to slither away. So after that, Sasuke fought Samui, and yeah guys, someone told me that it was Karui. I think it was, that was the name, but I was saying Kamui, but so sorry about it. So without any further ado, let us start our video. But before starting this video, as I have recorded for two and a half of a minute, so I might check the community poll so that I can make the video after it. So let's see. And yeah guys, I have already checked, only one person has commented that it was Dark Thunder, that she should live and I should make her suffer in the video. Yeah, in most of my series I do that, but in some series I decided that it should be a bit changed, and there are you can say 88% people want her dead, so she's going to die here. So without any further ado, let us start our video. As the proctor finally came and said, well, for the next match, it is going to be Uzumaki Naruto versus Rock Lee. As Lee smirked and said, alright guys sensei, it's about time that I show the world my flames of youth. As Guy said, yeah Lee, show them. Lee, Ga sensei, as both of them rushed towards each other and gave each other a big hug, as everyone saw how there were waterfall and the sun was rising behind them. As Itachi's eyes widened and said, what? Is that a genjutsu? But how? As he activated his Sharingan, as well as Naruto was in utter shock. He also activated his Mangekyo Sharingan, but for some reason this genjutsu was not dispelling, as Naruto had a pure face of utter horror on his face, as all the joints had a sweat drop going through. As Lee said, alright guys sensei, as Lee landed in the stadium, as everyone was pretty surprised and you can say not so happy. Well, pretty confused about the whole situation, as Naruto also landed as he said, well, Itachi sensei, let's see what will happen here. It seemed that he has a pretty strong affinity for a genjutsu, as Itachi was wondering the same thing, if Guy was hiding his genjutsu skills, and he has taught it to his student, as he simply nodded, as Naruto also went down. As Lee said, alright Naruto, I have fought you, and I wanted to fight you for a long time. I heard about your skills, so it's about time that we show our youth, flames of youth, to the world. As Naruto said, yeah, do that. As Lee said, alright, let's go. Naruto Uzumaki, as Proctor said, alright guys, are you guys ready? As Lee nodded, giving him a thumbs up, as Naruto also nodded at that. As Proctor said, alright, the next match, Uzumaki Naruto versus Rock Lee, began. As he also jumped back as Naruto came in a fighting stance, not knowing who this guy actually is, and activating his 3 Tomoe Sharingan just in precaution to see if he is not put under any Genjutsu, thinking that this guy is a specialized Genjutsu master. As Lee said, alright, Naruto-san, as he simply rushed towards Naruto with incredible speed as Naruto raised an eyebrow at this, but he was able to dodge all the attacks of Lee with little to no difficulty whatsoever, as he was simply dancing around the area as he was dodging all the attacks as Lee was trying his best, as Naruto made some distance and said, "So Lee, it seemed that you have pretty good of a taijutsu. I was not expecting this from a Genjutsu master." As Lee looked towards Naruto with a raised eyebrow and said, Genjutsu? What are you talking about, Naruto-san? As Naruto raised an eyebrow and said, you are a Genjutsu master, aren't you, Lee? As Lee simply laughed and said, well, Naruto-san, I do not have any Genjutsu or Ninjutsu or Kenjutsu in that manner. I only use my Taijutsu as well as sometimes Kenjutsu. As Naruto was in utter shock as he looked towards Itachi, who was also surprised at that, as he simply looked away as Naruto said, you're not a Genjutsu? But what was that? As Lee said, what are you talking about, Naruto-san? As Naruto had a deadpan expression on his face, as first he was thinking that Lee as well as Guy were some Genjutsu masters, as he simply shrugged it off and said, never mind, as he deactivated his Sharingan and said, alright, let's go, Lee-san. As Lee said, you deactivated those eyes. I think that those were Sharingans. How is that possible, Naruto-san? You're not an Uchiha. As Naruto said, well, that's a long story. You can say that. My Kekkei Genkai allows me to use the Sharingan. As Lee was pretty confused about it, but he never, you can say, bother and said, alright, Naruto-san, it seemed that my speed is not enough to catch you off guard. So, allow me to change that situation. As he looked towards Guy, who gave him a thumbs up as he said, yes, Guy-sensei, as he jumped onto the tower and said, alright, Naruto-san, let's begin. As he released his weights, as Naruto was pretty surprised when the weights were simply stamped to the ground as there was a big boom, as Naruto had a raised eyebrow, but then he blinked as Lee simply vanished from everyone's eyes, as Lee appeared in front of Naruto with a kick to his face, but Naruto blocked the attack. As Naruto was pretty surprised, this speed is pretty impressive, Lee, for someone who cannot use chakra, though I should have figured it out after I activated my Sharingan. Your chakra pulls were really low, and I was thinking that it could be a Genjutsu as well. As Lee made some distance and said, well, Naruto-san, your Taijutsu is impressive as well as your speed, but I wonder if you can keep up with my full speed. As he rushed towards Naruto as both of them engaged in a Taijutsu battle, as a smirk came on the face of Naruto as he said, well, a moment ago, I was fighting this battle a bit confused, but now it is getting interesting. As he rushed towards Lee as both of them engaged in a Taijutsu battle, simply vanishing from everyone's eyes, as Sasuke activated his 3 Tomoe as well as Kiyomi, as both of them were, you can say, watching this battle pretty easily thanks to their 3 Tomoe Sharingan, but pretty surprised as Sasuke looked towards Itachi, as Itachi nodded and said, well, Lee is a Taijutsu specialist, from what I can gather, as his speed is pretty impressive. Unfortunately, he's even faster than you. For you, Sasuke, he's even faster than you. As Sasuke's eyes twitched at that, as Kiyomi said, see that? He's faster than you, Sasuke. As Sasuke said, well, you're even slower than me, Kiyomi. As Kiyomi said, keep dreaming. As Itachi was looking at the battle, as Sasuke said, so, you think that Naruto can win, As Itachi smirked at that, well, you have no idea, little brother. You have no idea. As Lee was slammed into the ground, making a big crater as Naruto rushed towards him, slamming his face into the ground as Lee rolled out of the way, making a large crater there, as everyone was wondering if these two are even Genins, as Gaara's bloodlust was radiating from his body. Yes, I want to kill him. I want to kill both of them, as he was wondering this in his mind, as the battle was simply going on even faster and faster, and it come to a point even for 3 Tomoe Sharingan of Sasuke and Kiyomi, they were only seeing blurs, as Lee made some distance, now huffing and puffing, while Naruto was pretty okay. As on the other hand, Tsunade Minato and Kushina were pretty surprised and impressed as Kushina said, well, I did not knew that Naruto was this fast. That kid is also impressive. But Naruto, it seemed that he's winning and pretty easily as Minato was pretty proud. After all, he was a yellow flash, the fastest ninja, and seeing his son this fast, keeping up, and he could easily see that Naruto was holding back a lot as Tsunade was also impressed. His taijutsu is also pretty impressive, Kushina, if I must say. As Jiraiya also came into the picture as he said, well, I have put the seals on Manma and Mito, don't worry, both of them will be okay. As he said, so, what the match is going on, huh? Yeah, Tsunade said, well, our first godson is fighting that Lee guy who seems to be a taijutsu specialist as Jiraiya looked down and said, let's see what this kid actually got. Well, I am pretty disappointed that he's not as talented as Manma and Mito as Tsunade as well as Kushina gave as well as Minato gave Jiraiya a deadpan look thinking that if this guy is even crazy as the battle goes on as Lee was panting hard as he looked towards Guy Sensei, who was pretty, you can say, nervous about the situation. As Lee said, alright Guy Sensei, I'm sorry, but I think that I have to do this to prove to everyone that even without ninjutsu, genjutsu, I can become a splendid shinobi. As Naruto looked towards Lee with a smile as he said, well Lee, you have already proved more than enough that here in this room there are not many Genins or even Chunins who can keep up with you in taijutsu, and I must say that you can defeat most of them. As Lee only smiled and said, well Naruto-san, but I must say that I have to defeat you to prove my point even further. As Naruto said, well, I'm looking forward to it, Lee. As Lee said, alright, Guy Sensei, I'm sorry. First gate, open. Second gate, open. Third gate, open. Fourth gate, open. Fifth gate, open. And finally, as this said, sixth gate open. As now he was in his full power as Guy was now sweating. As he said, Lee, you should not have opened sixth gate. As Lee said, sorry Guy Sensei, I have to do this. As he rushed towards Naruto with incredible speed, even Naruto was, you can say, was a bit surprised, a lot surprised when a punch was delivered to his face, sending him flying into the wall. Lee did not even stop there before Naruto could even hit the wall as he appeared behind him, slamming a punch to his back over and over again and then kicking him into the air. As now Lee was moving at incredible speed. No one was able to watch him except few higher Jonins as well as Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya and Tsunade, as well as Itachi who activated his 3 Tomoe Sharingan. Lee was vanishing as Naruto was in mid-air and attacks after attacks were simply delivered to his body as Kushina was in shock as he said, no, Naruto, but Tsunade was able to stop him as Jiraiya said, it seems that he's not that much. As I told you before, Minato, he's not as talented as Menma and Mito. As Minato was now getting angry at his sensei as he said, will you just shut up already, Jiraiya sensei? As Jiraiya was shocked how at the tone of his former pupil as Minato only glared at Jiraiya who simply shut up after that. As while on the other hand Kyumi was now in pretty shock as he said, no, Naruto, as Sasuke was also in shock. Naruto is a lot stronger than him, even though he do not want to agree with it, but he had to. As while on the other hand, Itachi was calm as ever, as well as Kakashi, who was a bit nervous about the situation. As Naruto was slammed into the ground, as Lee also landed, now huffing and puffing a lot. As he said, "Alright, Naruto-san, it seems that this battle is over." Well, I must say that you're the strongest opponent as I have ever faced. You could be even stronger than Neji, but before he could complete his sentence, as he felt a presence behind him. Well, Lee, that was impressive, I must say. As Lee's eyes widened, as he quickly moved around, trying to kick this guy, whoever this guy was, but he simply vanished from the area. As Lee's eyes widened, as he looked at a crater where Naruto's body was previously slammed into, but there was nothing as Naruto appeared. As he said, well Lee, that was truly impressive. It has been a long time since someone has ever beat me like that. Well, last time I got beaten that much, you would be surprised. It was myself who did that to me. Well, thinking about the shadow clones, fighting against 2000 shadow clones at the same time. That was quite a beatdown. As he started to stretch his muscle, not even a small cut on his body, as all the Jonins, Chunins, Genins were in utter shock. Kyumi had a big smile on her face, while on the other hand, Yujito was watching this in awe. This kid was able to take all that attack. She was thinking that this kid, whoever this guy was, has finally got his beating. as well as Karu, who had just arrived, was cheering for the Lee guy, who was also in utter shock. As Naruto only scratched his muscle and said, "Well, Lee, now it's my turn. I hope that you could be able to handle it." As Naruto's eyes, for a moment, you can say, turned into blue. As then he smirked as he simply vanished from the eyes of everyone with incredible speed, shattering the ground where it was, as Lee was the next moment was slammed into the wall so hard as it almost broke through it. But Naruto did not stop there, as he, like flying, slammed his kick into the area where Lee was slammed into, but Lee barely was able to move his head as whole wall simply shattered into pieces. As Naruto looked towards Lee, who was now making some distance, and also rushed towards Naruto, ready to attack him, but Naruto grabbed his hand like it was nothing as he slammed his punch into the gut of Lee over and over again, as Lee was now picking up blood now, as Naruto kicked Lee on his face, sending him flying, but before he could reach the wall, as Naruto kicked him upward into the air just like Lee did, and even faster than Lee was, as whenever Naruto, you can say, jump or land into the ground or the wall, he was shattering everything, as Lee was in the middle ground and getting even more hits than Naruto got, as Naruto finally slammed him into the ground, as Lee was now on the ground, all gates deactivated, as he was almost knocked out, as Naruto landed, as he said, "Well, Lee, to be honest, it was the greatest fight I have in a long time. You're a special shinobi, even without the Genjutsu, which I previously thought you had. You are a strong shinobi in Taijutsu." As Lee, as Naruto looked towards the Proctor, "Alright, Proctor, declare the match." As Proctor looked towards Lee and then towards Naruto and said, "The winner of the match is Naruto." But before he could complete his sentence, as Lee said, "Wait, this match is not over." As he stood up, as he came to his pose, the Taijutsu, as Naruto said, "Lee, this is over. I do not want to hurt you anymore. This battle is over and done for. Just give up now." As everyone was watching in awe about the determination of this kid. Even Kurama was pretty intrigued about this situation and all, as then Naruto started to walk towards Lee, as he was seeing that how his hairs was simply shadowing his eyes. As Naruto arrived there, as he put a hand on the shoulder of Lee, as Lee simply collapsed into the ground, as he was already unconscious but still standing in his pose, as everyone was in awe at the determination of this kid. As Naruto had a smile on his face, this was the shinobi who gained his respect the most, as everyone was pretty amazed to see this match, as Proctor announced the winner, Uzumaki Naruto, or rather the Eternal Naruto, as everyone burst into the chairs, as everyone was pretty amazed from the Konoha side, while on the other hand, other Genin were in awe. Whole stadium simply shattered into pieces, as even the walls started to crumble, as Minato looked towards his shinobi, who nodded and jumped down and quickly go through hand signs and then slam it into the walls and ground, as they were the earth style users and they had to recover the whole building, who was at the verge of collapsing. As Naruto simply went back, as Naruto arrived, as Kyumi gave him a big hug, as she was pretty, you can say, she was pretty worried about Naruto after Naruto was getting all those beat down, as she noticed that Naruto does not have a single injury on his body. As she said, "Naruto-kun, are you alright? Are you hurt?" As she started to check his body, as Naruto said, "No, Kyumi-chan, I'm alright. As you can see, I'm pretty okay. Only his clothes were simply, you can say, burned off." As Kushina arrived, "Naruto, are you okay?" As giving him a big hug, as Naruto did not return the hug, as she started to check Naruto, "Are you okay? Are you hurt from anywhere?" As Naruto had a cold expression on his eyes, on his face, not responding whatsoever, as he simply moved away towards Itachi. "Alright, Itachi-sensei, it seems that the matches are over." As Itachi said, "Well, there are still one match left, Naruto." As the boat started to move and then finally came to Sakura versus Gaara, as Kushina's eyes widened, already knowing that Gaara was the Jinchuriki of the One Tail, as she said, "Sakura, are you sure you want to take this match? That guy is dangerous." As Sakura said, "Yes, Kushina-sensei, I have to prove to my Sasuke-kun that I'm a strong Kunoichi." As Kushina, already knowing that Sakura was not ready for this match, "Sakura, you don't have to go there. Or if you see that you cannot win, you have to give up. Sakura. Otherwise, no one here will be able to help you. As Sakura simply nodded, as he came down, as he said, alright, Sasuke-kun, you have to see that how I'm going to beat this guy. As Gaara arrived with a maniac look on his face as the proctor said, alright, begin. As Sakura threw all the kunai she had towards Gaara, but Gaara was able to easily block all these kunai as she tried to rush towards Gaara with a face ready to punch him on his face. As she was thinking, alright, I have to beat this guy and then claim Sasuke-kun and have to separate him from that demon. As she rushed towards Gaara, ready to punch him, but Gaara's stand quickly enveloped him as Kushina's eyes widened. But before Sakura could say anything, as sand, as she said, "Let me go, you damn demon! You're just like him, the demon!" But before she could even complete anything, Gaara simply clenched his face as blood started to shatter everywhere. Sakura was finally dead. Just by, you can say, your request. As Gaara was dead, as everyone was in shock for some moment, and then a maniac laughter could be heard across the stadium. As Gaara was laughing, yes, blood, blood. The mother will be happy, yes, blood. As he was simply laughing out of his mind, as everyone was in awe, as Kushina was gasping for air, as her student was simply dead, as Kakashi also had a sad expression on his face as he was not able to stop this guy from killing him. As now we have a timescape as to the Hokage's office, as Minato, Tsunade, Kushina as well as Jiraiya were there. As Jiraiya said, alright Minato, I have asked the Toad Sage that how we are going to train Menma and Mito into the art of sage mode or the training of the QB. So we have to take him. As Minato simply shook his head. No, Jiraiya sensei, I don't think that Menma and Mito are ready for the sage mode. As Jiraiya said, what do you mean by that, Minato? They need the power of the sage mode. As Minato put a hand towards Jiraiya and said no. For in a 1 month, sage mode could not be mastered by Menma and Mito, who do not have any patience whatsoever, and he already know that they rely on too much on the chakra of the QB, and if they try to, all the difficulties as well as the circumstances, if they are not able to master it correctly, who knows, they might even turn into the stone statue itself. As Jiraiya thought it for some time, as he sighed, his student was right. As Minato said, well, if you want to train them, then why not train them both on the taijutsu, as you already see that how great of a taijutsu that Lee Kid actually had, as well as Naruto's taijutsu is even greater. As Jiraiya only grunted at that. As Minato said, why not train Naruto with them? With his taijutsu, he might be able to help them. As Jiraiya said, what are you talking about, Minato? He's nothing more than a hindrance at the progress of the twins. They need the power to become the child of prophecy, and Naruto is not a part of the prophecy. As Kushina said, alright, you old bastard, I have more than enough of you. As she grabbed Jiraiya from his neck, slamming him into the wall. As he said, I'm sick of this prophecy of yours, Jiraiya, and I don't even see how Menma and Mito could even be the child of prophecy. They are so arrogant and they do not even know how to treat each other. When I told them how Sakura was dead, both of them were simply laughing, telling me that how she was a weakling and she deserved to die. They did not even care about their teammate, and it is mostly because of you, Jiraiya. As Jiraiya was in shock, as he said, what are you saying, Kushina? How could this even be my fault? As Kushina said, well, it is your fault, Jiraiya. You have spoiled both of them too much, and I'm not going to allow you to take either of them to train with you, and you are hereby banned from meeting Menma and Mito until I say otherwise. As Jiraiya was in shock, he was banned from meeting his godson as well as his goddaughter. As he looked towards Minato, who simply nodded and said, well, Jiraiya-sensei, as you have heard, and I'm also pretty disappointed in Menma and Mito. They should have treated their teammate right. How Sakura had died, it is unfortunate, but they have even disrespected his death, and it is not the right way. First they have to become a good person, otherwise they will never be able to become the child of prophecy. Here I am having the doubts that Naruto could be the child of prophecy. As Jiraiya only scoffed at that name as he said, well, Naruto could never be more than a hindrance in the way of twins, and he could never ever become the child of prophecy. Only Menma and Mito are the child of prophecies, Minato. Just remember that. As he only went outside of the door, pretty fuming in pure anger. As Tsunade also sighed and said, well, Jiraiya's attitude surely is getting a bit troublesome. But if you want, I can help Menma and Mito. Yes, both of them looked towards each other and nodded as Kushina said, well, I am their team sensei, as well as Kakashi is also there, so I don't think that your help would be needed. Tsunade, though I'm pretty thankful about it. As Tsunade nodded, as he looked towards Minato, Minato said, well, you are needed in the hospital at the moment. As Tsunade nodded and went off, and Kushina and Minato only looked towards each other and sighed about the whole situation of Menma and Mito. And now let us go to Jiraiya as he arrived at the hospital where Menma and Mito were simply just discharged. As Menma and Mito looked towards Jiraiya and smiled. So, Pavisage, how our training is going to get, as Jiraiya only sighed and said, well, your parents have banned me to train both of you, as both Menma and Mito were in shock, as Menma said, what? They cannot do that? How's that even possible? As Mito said, yeah, they cannot do that, we have to become strong, otherwise, how are we going to become the child of prophecies, already knowing how to change the mind of their godfather? As Jiraiya looked towards Mito, you can say Mito already knew that how to change the mind of their godfather, as Jiraiya thought it for some time and said, alright, I will help both of you, but you have to told your parents that you want to train on your own on the different techniques so that they cannot bother you, and I will teach you in secret. As both Menma and Mito looked towards each other and smirked, as then they, you can say, simply told Kushina as well as Kakashi that how they are going to train with each other, and they have already their routine gathered. As Kushina was a bit suspicious about this behavior, but she agreed with that, already knowing that Jiraiya will not do anything against the will of Minato at least. So he also she also agreed, while on the other hand, Jiraiya was already ready as he said, alright, Menma, Mito, so I'm going to teach both of you the prize jutsu of your father, the Rasen Shuriken, which he created, as both of them looked towards each other and smirked, as Jiraiya said, alright, we are also going to work on that curse mark. I can see that curse mark was made on the sage mode, so you can use it in the combination of the cubist chakra, and then both of you will be unstoppable. As both of them look towards each other and smirk at that. And now we have a 1 month of time skip, and yeah, the time skip finally over, and now it is the day of the Chunin's exams, as all the kids, all the Gyanis were pretty excited along with all the people as from the different villages, Raikage, as well as signed Kazekage, or rather that disguised Orochimaru. Flashback for Orochimaru as a small snake was slithering into the forest as he arrived near the team he was looking for, as it was the team of Kabuto. As Kabuto noticed the snake and he put his teammates into a genjutsu as he looked towards the snake, who hissed at him as he got the snake, as he was in pretty shock when he got the memories that how the snake started to talk to him, telling him that how his whole body got destroyed and only the small part remains, and how he has to put it on someone who had a curse mark, and when he entered into the curse mark, he will be revived in that body. As Kabuto nodded at that, as Kabuto did that, and Orochimaru was finally back, and trust me, he was pissed. He has finally swore that he is going to kill that damn kid who almost killed him, and he is not going to spare him if it's the last thing he's going to do. And now here flashback ends as Raikage arrives as he greeted Minato. So Hokage, it seems that many of your Ganins are here in this exam. As Minato smiled and said, well, Raikage, your two Ganins were also able to make it, Amoe as well as Yujito. As Raikage only grunted, he wanted his whole team to be in the finals, but it was more than enough, as he finally nodded and said, well, to be honest, I truly believe that one of my Ganin is going to win this tournament. As then Minato only smiled and said, well, we shall see about it. As Orochimaru was simply looking down, as both of them looked towards him and said, so Kazekage, don't you have any faith in your shinobi? As Kazekage only said, well, I already know that Gaara is going to win this match. As Minato narrowed his eyes towards the Kazekage, already remembering what Gaara actually did in the preliminaries, killing one of their Konoichis, and he was not happy about it. But he cannot argue. After all, the in the Chunin exams, the killing is actually allowed. So he finally did not say anything as Raikage seated, and after some time, you can say Mizukage. No, who cares about the Mizukage? As Raikage was just there, as these three were there, and Daniels well also started to come. And now, without any further ado, the matches begin as the proctor announced the first match is going to be Naruto Uzumaki versus Neji Hyuga, as everyone was cheering for. Here in this timeline, Naruto was not that hated, so some of the people were cheering for him, mostly neglected by his family, though not that much hated. A bit more here and there, because keeping the soul of the. But not many people care about it. After all, so, and most of the people were cheering for Neji, not knowing the full power of Naruto, but they did heard about the clan genius Neji, as Neji arrived, and after some time, as Proctor said, Uzumaki Naruto, as no one was there, as he said, well, I'm going to say this last time. Are you there, Uzumaki? Not. But before he can complete his sentence, the lightning started to struck from the you can say skies, and then finally a lightning strike to the ground, and then the next thing everyone saw was Naruto with his new outfit, as his whole outfit was black with a you can say blue fire and lightning symbols, and representing all five elements on his you can say from different designs to his a small you know the coat which he wear in the Pain Saga, that type of as Neji only grunted at that, while on the other hand, Raikage was simply impressed. This control over lightning was truly impressive, as Minato and all the people were in awe, as the crowd only roared for Naruto. Yeah, as Neji said, simply shook his head. Well, a flashy entry is not going to save you, Uzumaki. I'm going to still kill you, going to defeat you. As Naruto only looked towards Neji and said, first of all, I'm not an Uzumaki or Namakase. Remember that. My clan name is Eternal, and remember it well, Neji Hyuga. As Neji only looked towards Naruto. Well, the fate has already decided me the winner. It does not matter if you have won against Lee, because he was just a loser, while on the other hand, I'm the true prodigy here, and I'm going to win this, and you are just a dead loss, so no matter what you do, you are going to lose here. As no Naruto only smirked at that and said, well, we shall see about it, Neji. As Proctor said, alright, both of you are ready? As both of them simply nodded, as Proctor said, alright, let the first match of the preliminaries of the finals of the Chunin exams begin. As he quickly jumped back as Neji activated his Byakugan. As Neji said, alright, Naruto, let's see if you can handle this. As Naruto then put a hand towards Neji, stopping him, as he looked towards Neji and said, Neji, first of all answer me something. I want to ask you for a long time. As Neji only looked towards Naruto, as everyone was also a bit confused. As Naruto said, what I heard about the Byakugan, is it right? As Neji had a smug look on his face and said, of course, thinking about as he said, yeah, but you have heard about the Byakugan is alright, the legendary power, which is thinking that how about the legendary power of their ancestor gifted to them. As Naruto said, huh, so I heard about it is right. Byakugan is nothing more than a perverted dojutsu. This left everyone in you can say silence for a whole minute. No one spoke, and then all the males simply burst into laughter as Neji was in utter shock, as the look on his face was simply priceless, as all the men were simply laughing, as even Itachi had a small smirk on his face, already knowing what his student actually is doing. As Neji's face was simply turning red, as all the people were simply laughing, as Neji said, what? What are you talking about? As Naruto said, well, I have heard about how Byakugan can see through things, even the cloth and clothes. So, it is only a perverted dojutsu, and I am right about it. Huh, well, who would have known? And guess what, Neji? Last day, I saw you near the bath house with your dojutsu activated, as everyone was in utter shock as Neji only glared at Naruto, becoming red, as all the girls were now glaring at Neji, as they were thinking, Neji is a pervert, as even Tanden was wondering the same thing as Guy stood up. Neji, your flames of youth had diminished. I'm so ashamed of calling you my student, as everyone was in utter shock, while on the other hand, Hiyashi was simply cursing the existence of this kid, as he has made fun of the Hyuga clan, as he could feel many female members were simply glaring at him. Now, thinking that why did he even came here, as Neji said, That's a lie," and as he said, "Alright, you have done it," as he rushed towards Naruto with incredible speed, as he said, "Damn you," as he tried to punch him over and over again, as Naruto was dodging all these attacks, meanwhile smirking. He already remembered what he actually did to Hinata, who is such a sweet girl and a best friend of Kiyomi. So he was pretty angered about it when Kiyomi became angry to Neji, as Naruto easily dodged all the attacks as he slammed his face so hard on Neji's gut as Neji puked out blood on the very first hit as he was slammed into the wall, as he barely came out as he said, "Damn you, no, you got me off guard," as he activated his Byakugan, as everyone was still laughing about it previously, as Minato had a sweat drop after the comment of his son, and Raikage was thinking that how it was good that they did not get that perverted dojutsu to their village. It would have ruined the image of Cloud Village, as even Orochimaru was a bit amused about the situation, but his anger towards Naruto overcome that, as Naruto was simply smirking, as Neji said, "Alright, you asked for it," as he rushed towards Naruto with incredible speed, as Naruto just opened both of his arms, as everyone was in utter shock, as Naruto was welcoming Neji to come at him, as Neji said, smirked and said, "You asked for it," as he rushed towards Naruto, 2 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 8 trigrams, 64 palms, as he delivered whole technique, and now he was smirking, as Naruto looked towards Neji with a bored expression. "Are you done? So, are you done tickling me?" Well, that was pretty, what was the word again? Disappointing, as Neji, as well as all the Hyuga members, were in utter shock, as Yashi said, "What? It cannot be," as Neji had the same expression, as he said, "How?" As he looked towards Neji, as none of his chakra points were close, but he did it himself, as Naruto said, "Why not try it again, Neji?" As his arms were still open, as Neji gritted his teeth and said, "Alright," as he rushed towards Naruto over and over again, 64 palms, 64 palms, as he 3 times nothing happened, as Neji was in utter shock, as Naruto said, "How about last time, Neji? And it is your last chance." As Neji was now fuming in anger, and he rushed towards Naruto, 64 palms, 84 palms, 100 palms, 120 palms, but nothing happened, as Naruto only yawned and said, "Well, since the tickling is over, maybe I should end this battle," as he vanished with the incredible show of speed, as he arrived in front of Neji, as he grabbed his shoulder, and with a total badass look, as Neji's eyes widened, as Naruto was facing the wall, just pointing his hand towards Neji, as he said, "Have fun," as the lightning started to go through his body, as he let out a scream of pain and agony, and the next moment Neji was on the ground, and then not knocked out, barely conscious, and Naruto finally gave him a Takono Jutsu, which I don't want to get into, and finally went off, as everyone was cheering, and all the Konoha shinobis as well as civilians were in awe. They never knew the Hokage's firstborn was this strong, and they were pretty impressed with the kid, as Naruto finally went off, and even Minato and Kushina were pretty happy, even though their son do not accept them and will never carry the name of Uzumaki or Namikaze, but still they were pretty proud of him. As well, on the other hand, Raikage was pretty impressed, as this control over lighting, not even going through hand signs and putting his chakra, turning it into lighting, was pretty impressive. While on the other hand, Orochimaru was still pretty angry about the situation, but he was wondering if he could take over the body of this kid. As now, let us go to Sasuke, who also arrived and watched the whole battle. As Kiyomi arrived, well, Naruto-kun, that was pretty impressive. As she looked towards the new outfit that Naruto had, as she blushed a little. As Naruto also smiled and said, "Well, Kiyomi-chan, it seems that the next battle is yours. Though, I'm pretty sure that you will win this battle." As Kiyomi smiled, and the next match is going to be Kiyomi versus Mito Uzumaki Namikaze. But guys, here I will leave this part, but could it be? As Kyomi smiled at Naruto, as Naruto said, "Well, Kyomi-chan, I totally believe that you can win this match." As he was smiling at her, as Sasuke only, you can say, coughed and said, "Well, I'm here as well, you know." As both of them looked towards Sasuke and then blinked, as both of them simply looked towards each other then and blushed and made some distance, as Itachi simply chuckled at that, as Sasuke also had a small smirk on his face and said, "Well, Naruto, that was impressive, I must say. Though I wonder, how did you dodge all those attacks of that Byakugan user?" As Naruto said, "Well, a shinobi has its secrets, you know." Sasuke smirked at that. "Well, Naruto, you will be surprised at the end of the day because I'm going to beat you." As Naruto only chuckled and said, "Well, we shall see about it, Sasuke. We shall see." As Itachi was also pretty impressed with this Sharingan. He was able to see that how Naruto was able to evade all the attacks of Byakugan user, and how no matter how proficient any Byakugan user could ever be, Naruto chakra pole simply cannot be closed because of their immense chakra and the potency of the chakra. It automatically creates a barrier around the coils, not allowing them to shut at any moment because of his you can say uncontrolled growth of the chakra. Right now Naruto, it's almost, it is no 75% of the full Kurama's chakra, and his body is still producing chakra at a rapid speed. Even Kurama was pretty impressed. At this moment, Naruto is actually stronger than him because he do not have his whole chakra in him at the moment. That is, as and he was wondering if this kid chakra would ever stop growing because a shinobi always can grow. Alright guys, here I will leave this part. As for the next part, the like goal is 300 likes as usual, and the comment goal is 200, no, 180 comment. Do that and I will upload the next part today. Who knows? So it is only depends upon you guys. If you break the like goal and the comment goal, I will upload today, otherwise tomorrow, or who knows. So it is up to you mostly. So yeah guys, peace, and I hope that you like the video.